Hello. Hello, everybody. I think it's actually working now. I can hear myself on the stream. I'm going to mute the stream that I'm watching because it'll mess me up here. But yeah, I think it's working. Can everybody hear us? Can everybody hear everybody? Can you hear me?
Check. What's up, guys?
Says no audio from Justin.
All right, guys, we should be good now. You'll be able to hear me. Going to be a little bit of a delay. All right, now it's working, guys. Check. Now we're live and direct, but I need more coffee.
Yep, it's working now.
Let's welcome Luis to the live stream, guys. Give him some love in the live stream.
Justin should be able to hear everybody now. They're saying you're a little bit low.
Okay. All right, I'm going to turn that mic up. All right, guys, let's go. Here we go.
Finally, I think it's working. Hold on a sec. I'm going to close your garage. I'm over at Justin's right now because we're getting this stuff sorted out. I'm going to go close the door where he's at so I can hear.
We're live streaming from the same place right now, but we spent some time this morning setting up the mics and to make sure everything is going on properly. All right, my guys. So our dog is upstairs in the Mrs. Camp's room, and dog knows that Luis is here, so you might hear the dog barking in the background. All right.
I'm turning the gain up on my mic a little bit.
You guys should hear me loud and clear. Okay, so I'm going to turn up my gain a little bit for you guys and let me know if that helps or not. We should be pretty good now. All right, guys. So I'm going to have to muzzle that dog.
I do have a voice. Yeah, your dog is going nuts right now.
So Luis, let's welcome Luis to the live stream. Luis is our official co-host of Drone Camps RC. So thank you, Luis, for joining us today. This is awesome. And all of his efforts and all of his work to make sure that everything is working now. And he has a ton of information to bring to you guys.
I've got some information. Justin just he's going up to deal with his dog right now. It's freezing cold in this house, though. I'll tell you that much right now. I'm gonna have to get used to this being on a live stream and trying to read the chat at the same time. And if there's like this lag that I have to get used to, it's a little weird for me. I can see Gene Fox, Green Mountain Droning. What's going on, Morton Upshot? TK, Lambo Drive Zambo. Yeah, Justin's upstairs dealing with the dog. Thanks, man. Yep, beating the dog. Hopefully not, but like she was fine for the past I've been here for about 2 hours now. She was fine when I got here, or she, and just in the last 10 minutes, finally realized that I was here, I guess. It's flipping out. Yeah, it's because what when we're talking here, it comes through on your guys' end about 20 seconds later. What's up, Cortez? There,
right.
Justin's getting back right now.
So apparently the dog freaking out because he thinks Luis is a robber. Or she.
I can be a little shady sometimes.
So that's awesome, you guys. So first up today in this live stream, it's Monday, January 23rd, and this month has been a lot of fun. I have a pile of bind and fly drones over here that we've done reviews on. I have some new stuff that's coming up as well that we're going to show you guys. Brand new stuff from Gap RC. We have more stuff from Gap RC coming as well. We have that little 2-inch CineWhoop that came in, the CineLog 20 with O3 on board. You can also get it for analog version. And apparently we have some more stuff coming from Axis Flying as well. And more stuff coming from Skyzone. So I'm doing some petitioning with Skyzone for some products as well. So, and with the Axis bota frame coming, I did some design work with Axis Flying for that frame. We've been working on that for a couple months. And finally, so some of those frames are going to ship out to reviewers coming probably in next week or so after the Chinese New Year. I think they're just about done with that right now, so they might be returning to work soon. Super cool. But right now, what we want to do is we want to jump into some Q&A for you guys. So if you have any questions, like currently what you're working on, if you have something that's not working, or you just have a question about really anything under the sun, when it includes it, TV or flying quads, drop in your questions in live chat. Also, while I have you here, a lot of you guys were asking about Discord. So we're going to drop in the Discord link for you guys so that you can hop in there. And you can also ask questions there in Discord 24/7. So this is our Drone Camps RC Discord.
I just dropped it in there.
Oh, yeah, you're fast, Luis.
While you're talking, so I can do stuff in the background.
Got you guys. So that is our link to the channel's Discord. And there's a lot of cool Discords out there. Bardwell also has a Discord, and we have one that's pretty active, actually. We have quite a few guys that are in there like every single day. So I know Johnny DRC is in there, Casey, other guys. So I'm super stoked to share that with you guys. I believe Luis is in there as well. So
yeah, I'm in there, kind of in there. I'm reading then in there. I'm trying to multitask here. I got to get used to this multitasking. It's hard to do this on a laptop because the screen's so small on my laptop. Well, it's not that small, but it's small for what we're doing.
Yeah, the Discord is popping. So there's a lot. There's actually a lot of hanging out in the Discord too. It's more than just drone talk. Like I've seen people sharing pictures of the dogs in there. Like people get pretty personal in the Discord. So it's kind of cool to have like some direct access to the Drone Camps community right there. That's really nice.
Yeah, and I'll be coming in there more often now. I was in there a lot a year or two ago, and it kind of dropped off. But I'll be back in there a bunch. And I used to help people out on there using the chat function, the video or the audio chat. So I can help people out in there. this let's see, Robert Laird, he has a question about says he's never flown a drone before, but he likes your last video about the 4 best drones for 2023. His question is basically what's best for flying in 15 knots of wind?
Robert, I'm going to let Luis answer that question because I know he knows the answer to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, anything a little bit bigger. I mean, a 5-inch would be okay in 15 knots of wind. That's totally any 5-inch quad will do good in 15 knots of wind.
Yeah,
and bigger. But if you're gonna be starting out, you're gonna want a 5-inch, not anything bigger than that. Even a 3 or 4-inch will do okay.
Yeah,
it's not you'll get more vibes, more vibrations that way. But yeah, 5-inch, 3 to 5-inch should be good.
So less wind. You just asked if you're thinking about less wind, something small like a micro brushless or even a tiny whoop. You have 0 wind outside. You fly all over your property and have a lot of fun with something. But when it starts to get windy above, say, 12 knot, 13 knot wind, you know, quadcopters are a lot like RC helicopters, and I grew up out on the coast, so we had conditions. The average wind in Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, is like a 15 to 20 mile per hour wind on the regular. So there's a lot of windsurfers and kiteboarders out there. And as I was growing up, I had to fly. I realized that I bought these little tiny RC airplanes to start, and they used to basically get blown away. I almost had one go into the ocean because it got caught some pretty good headwind, and I couldn't make it back to the landing strip. And it was basically going out, and I had to forcibly nosedive it into the sand dunes to avoid losing this foam airplane out into the Atlantic Ocean. So airplanes, they have a problem with wind. So the bigger they are, better they fly in wind. So the heavier the aircraft, better. But what I figured out was that RC helicopters, they don't care about the wind. Usually an RC helicopter 500 size or 700 class, it cuts straight through the wind. And the same thing applies to our quadcopters. You will get some pushback and resistance. It will decrease the battery time. So like a cold day, a very windy day also affects your battery. It can reduce battery time up to 10 to 20% of a regular non-windy moderate temperature day, like 70 degrees, get you the best flight time. And it's 90 degrees and above, 95 degrees and above. Batteries also don't like that. So a lot of times I compare batteries to people. Batteries are like us because the alchemy inside a battery is affected by the weather, just like we are. When we're cold, we don't function as good. Too hot, we don't function as good.
Yeah, the batteries don't like the cold, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you're flying in the cold, keep your battery in your pocket, to warm it up or something, and then plug it into your quad.
Like I start up my Prius and I get the heater on, and I warm it up nice and warm, and then I take my batteries out from the warm house to the car, and I keep those batteries warm in the car until I'm ready to take them out and fly.
Yeah, Morton Upshot said here, he said, no disrespect, but don't fly. If you're a novice, don't fly in gusty wind, which is, that's some good advice there. The very first, one of the first quads I had, like maybe it was a little 2-inch guy, and I decided to go take it outside. I didn't know how to fly yet, and it was really windy outside, and I learned really quickly that just a little bit of wind, that thing just got taken. I had no power did not have enough power to come back to me. So the wind just took it. It was gone.
Dude.
So
that happens a lot with DJI Mavic Minis, right? Like Luis, you've seen the videos where like people fly out over the ocean and that thing is like under 250 grams, and it doesn't have a power system to be able to make it back in like a 20 knot headwind. And so their battery dies as they're coming back. They're coming, basically airspeed is like almost 0 heading, and they just go right into the water.
Yeah. Yeah, because their ground speed is 0, but the airspeed is, the wind's blowing them 20 knots one way, and they can't overcome that wind. It'll just basically stay in one. It won't even move.
Yeah,
barely move,
it's
and then you'll just crash.
it's kind of like when I kiteboarding for years, and I would do a jump, and you always have the wind facing into your kite, and so sometimes when I would jump, I would just hang, stay in one spot, like biting into the wind. Really wasn't gaining any ground. I was almost at 0 airspeed. That's kind of what happens with a headwind. Really strong
Yeah.
headwind.
Yeah, yeah. The Meteor, let's see, Defiant, asking about the Meteor 85. I don't have a Meteor 85. I've got a Beta 85, just an analog Beta 85, which is basically the same thing almost, but the analog version. I personally love the Beta 85s. I love those little 85s for flying around the house.
I love that size. That's a really good size. And for like Gorilla Whoop, I use an 85 millimeter for.
Yeah, and Mr. Shutterbug, he has some really cool 85 millimeter builds like that, really lightweight builds that he does. If you guys want to check out Shutterbug.
Yeah, I don't know that he's been making videos lately. I don't know if he's still.
He hasn't been doing much lately. He got busy. He's been I forget what he said. He's saying that he's been doing more videos soon, but he's been busy.
So in today's live stream, we no, I'm here, bro. I'm here, Robert. So in today's live stream, not just Q&A, we also want to go over some of these drones from January, give you guys kind of an FPV gear roundup, also some of the stuff that we have coming up in the 1st of February. Yeah, I was never going. I was just giving Luis the floor there, trying not to talk over my man. I'm used to being a one-man band, so we're working on this banter.
Yeah. We got to figure out our little segues back and forth from each other.
But Luis
and I have a bad problem with like the interrupting people. So just letting you know, I'll start coming in and saying something right in the middle of something.
But Luis and I were talking about this leading up to today, and talking about this friendship that we have, and from the beginning, we're kind of wondering out how this will work out on camera. Don't really know until you start doing it, but him and I have always had great conversations. I was telling him that he always makes me laugh and stuff, so everything would be cool on the live stream. Totally work out. And I was confident that Luis is a great co-host for Camp's channel. And he's been persistently trying to get this right for you guys. Been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure audio and everything else properly, including like coming over to my house today for a house call. That's a really good friend. I appreciate that.
Yeah, this was starting to like. I was gonna flip out if we couldn't get this to work.
Like this has been our mission for you guys.
And we barely got it working about like 15 minutes before that. We spent like an hour and 45 minutes trying to get this to work, and it was not working. And in the last 15 minutes we got it to work. So
yeah, this morning
it was kind of nice.
This morning we've been
now hopefully when I go home it'll still work for us.
Yeah, for God's sakes. Where all the awards go. John Connor asked where all the awards go. Right on my desk, bro. And one thing, let's go ahead and drop that Discord back into, I'm gonna drop that in, Luis. DC Discord. People are asking for that. This, and try this link as well. I just dropped in this Discord link. Should be straight to the channel. This is the Drone Camps FPV community Discord. You also have a Facebook as well. So new guys like Robert, if you're brand new, on Facebook, I'll try to drop this link as well for you. If you want to find all of our social media links, the easiest way to find everything to the entire community is go to the About tab on my YouTube channel. I have everything posted there. The Instagram, we even have a TikTok, which I barely ever post to, but all those links are right there on the About tab for our social media links. So I'll just go ahead and post all of them right here for you. And this is everything, guys, right here. Hopefully that's kind of legible there. Copied and pasted it. Yeah. We got Twitter, we got all the stuff. Twitter and Instagram are somewhat active. The Facebook Drone Camps FPV community is very active. We have like 3,500 people in there posting new videos and sharing stuff, as well as like 17 or 18,000 on our main Drone Camps Facebook page. So quite a large community. But I'm so stoked that his mic is now working today. So again, if you're just joining the stream, I want to welcome Luis to the stream. Show some love in the chat for him. Give us a thumbs up, like smash the like button on this video so the algorithm catches it.
Yeah, I don't know if all those links came through because they've got truncated or whatever.
Oh, it dropped off some of them.
Yeah, like your Instagram's not working. I just tried that one. That one's not working.
Okay. So you can grab those. I mean, I could grab them one at a time for you, but let's keep moving forward with the Q&A. So like we wanna dive into some of the Q&A. I did also see that recently Wesley Vardy, RT, how do you say his last name?
Vardy, I think it's Vardy.
Vardy just posted a new update to ELRS. Got some really good bug fixes in there. You guys that are running ELRS. They also added, and this is cool, this is great news for you guys, they added a target for Boxer in the ELRS configurator. So that's huge for people that have the Boxer. They're added support. Target from Boxer. Ligma FPV, thank you for the super chat donation. Appreciate that. Ligma asks if I'm going to Rampage in May. You know, that is a possibility. I have not been to Rampage, but I would love to go. I saw that Bardwell's not going this year. But I'd like to meet everybody. Be nice. We're out here on the West Coast, so we don't get to see Steel and Rotor Riot and all those guys because a lot of them are on. I think Umagod.
Yeah, there's so much
West Coast.
There's so much stuff that happens, you know, east of the Mississippi, basically, and it's everybody's close to everybody. It seems like out there. There's like the West Coast is not nearly as FPV centric. Let's put it that way. There's not as much people out here. It seems like everybody's out there.
There's a huge drone community in California with filming drones.
Like, oh my God.
Well, as far as like filming goes, like Hollywood style, like cinema drones are huge in California.
Yeah.
So there's that whole DJI crowd, and there's like a, but there doesn't seem to be as active of an in California. Maybe I'm wrong there. It seems like a lot of it's on the East Coast. You got more people on the East Coast, so it kind of makes. Got more population on the.
Yeah, and it's just a lot more. There's a lot more, you know. Yeah, there's a lot more going on out there. Bigger population. spread out all over the place there. Here it's all like broken up.
Oh, Robert, take it easy, bro. I'm sorry you're not feeling good. Check you out in the Discord later. I'll pop in there later today as well after the live stream. Arlington, Virginia, or Arlington, Washington. Okay, Arlington, Washington. I didn't know those in Arlington.
It's got to be Virginia, right? No, or is it Washington?
Washington. If you're in Northern Virginia, you're not allowed to fly. All right. No fly zone. Good thing you're in Washington. So Jamie's asking if we have any input on the CineLog 20. Yes. We're going to talk about CineLog 20 in the live stream. So coming up, we're going to talk about some of January's releases, and CineLog 20 is one.
Yeah, where is Rampage at? Do you know?
If you guys know where Rampage is, should probably Google that real quick. I've never even really looked at their. They probably have a website.
Is it in Tennessee? Yeah, I don't even know where it's at.
Johnny D, congrats on your Boxer on the way in the mail. That's awesome.
Oh, so Arlington, Washington, it isn't it? Okay. So
yep.
Arlington, Washington. Robert was also asking if you're going to have product discounts.
Yes, we do have some discount codes for certain ones. I do have discount codes for the iFlight website, and if you want a discount on iFlight or the GepRC site, I think you could get like maybe, I can't remember what, I think 5% off or something. And I'll put the code in right now. It's just Justin Davis. You can try lowercase. You can try all uppercase for GepRC and iFlight websites. So if you use my link and then you go to checkout, GepRC's website, it's just geprc.com. And then iFlight, same thing. Pull that up for you guys. I can get you guys, I can probably put them on the website for you, just a current list of account codes that are for Drone Camp subscribers. iFlight's website's more complicated. I wish it was iFlight, but it happens to be shop iFlight rc.com. So in other discounts, guys, now the biggest discount on any FPV purchase would be our quad shop. If you don't know about the quad shop, you gotta go to dronecamps.com. Go to dronecamps.com. About halfway down the page is the quad shop, and I load new stuff in there all the time. So this is the Foxeer Fox Whoop. This one's going to go into the drone store at some point, and this one has a Vista. So this one is an HD CineWhoop. It can carry a GoPro. It also flies really extremely good. It has 3.5-inch props on here, unibody top plate, and typically when something goes into the quad shop, say this is a $400 retail. I put it in there from anywhere from $200 to $250. So something that's been flown maybe a handful of times, like 0 scratches on it, maybe a little bit of grass on the prop ducts, and you've got a brand new quad essentially, like half the price. And to sweeten that, what I'm offering right now is if you sign up for Patreon, and I don't care if you sign up for like $2, you get a $25 discount on anything in the drone. That's a huge incentive. Like, it's like you're gonna save more with that during the year you would with an Amazon Prime account. Amazon Prime account's like $100 a year, like $2 a month. You bought 2 quads, that would save you $50. So $25 off any quad shop drone. For my Patreon. And that's a pretty banging deal. So guys, definitely check out my Patreon and sign up for that if you enjoy the video. Like Bardwell was saying on his last live stream, he's like, you watch my videos and you're not a Patreon, you're a bad person. He was being facetious. But Patreon is what like keeps all of us content creators rolling. So right now I'm trying to really like bring mine up to par.
Yeah, and Justin was asking me to create a Patreon for myself, which I have not done just yet.
Oh, you didn't do it yet?
I didn't do it yet. But I'll get that. I'll get that done this week, today or tomorrow, or the next couple days.
So, Luis is absolutely a resource for you guys as far as additional tech support on this channel, and Luis is good. Luis is one of those guys at the field. If he shows up at a meet, he can have a conversation with anybody at the field, and if we don't know something, we can pretty much figure it out. So
yes, that's my strength is like is teching. Like I can troubleshoot stuff really well, pretty much anything. The computers, drones, cars. I'm a good troubleshooter. I can think outside of the box when it comes to figuring why something isn't working.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like the smallest.
That's my strength.
Yeah. That brings a lot to the channel. So if Luis helps you out, and he'll email you back and forth, and he'll help you troubleshoot something. If he helps you, it would be kind of you to become a Patreon, and we're opening up Luis's Patreon for the channel, and as a co-host on the channel, and as somebody who helps you guys, we're going to share his link on all the live stream videos. So not just my Patreon, but also Louis. So I think that would be super dope if there's some support for. I need to become and Patreon, first Patreon.
In Discord, I can I'll talk. I'll use the audio chat to talk to you and help you out with whatever issues you guys have, and hopefully I can help you.
Robert says that drone I just showed, the Fox Whoop. Robert, I will put this one in the drone store soon when we're finished up with it, and I'll let you know when that's available. Want to go on dronecamps.com, go to the contact page and email me your email, and then I'll email you back and let you know. Because these are one-offs. Like they go up in the drone in the quad shop, like one-off. You got one chance to grab it. Free shipping in the U.S. I don't know what else I can do to make it better for you guys. Like,
hey Robert, so yeah,
free shipping.
I was just reading Robert's comment here in the chat. He was just it'll help on understanding before I fly the first time, and a meet and greet would be great. Like we're down in the Portland area, and you're up. He's closer to the in between Seattle and Canada. He said.
Okay.
But I think there's an event that happens in Southern Oregon called West Coast Throwdown.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to that. That's a good place to go and do like meet and greet. It's a camp out. It's like a 3-day event usually. It's in August this year.
August? Okay.
I think it's August. Yep, West Coast Throwdown.
Yeah, you guys Google West Coast.
I think it might be in August. I'm not sure. Not sure when it is this year.
You guys are on the West Coast. We should all meet up there. missed it last year?
Yeah, I missed it this last year, but I was there the year before, and the year before that it was canceled, but the year before that I was at that one.
I had a good time.
And you were there. You were there too. Yeah, it was yeah, I had a good time too. That's a really good time.
I mean, we can have a good time. Yeah, it's down in Medford. Yep. Gotta watch out. They have some disc golf guys there that are usually practicing on the course, and sometimes we're occupying the campground at the same time, and they would get a little upset that we're flying.
It'll upset that there's like 200 or 300 people flying quads all at the same time,
Yeah.
Basically.
Drones all over
Randomly,
the place.
like flying out of like left field. Like, where'd that come from?
Yeah. So stay away from the disc golf guys when you go there. Try to avoid those guys. That's what we're all about. Oregon. Sure. Portland nice, they call it.
Yeah, Robert, if you come down to the Portland area, just hit us up, or just let us know when you're going to be in the area, or you want to do something. Try to link up.
For sure. If you guys have any questions, need answers to, drop them in the live chat or in the Discord.
I had to stand up because this chair with my ass was starting to hurt. I've been sitting in this chair for the past 2.5 hours.
And I am yeah, you have. I should have put you on the couch.
You can send me questions at email me at here. I'll put my email address, my other email address in here.
Okay. Yeah, drop that in there. You don't get the XXX spam.
I'll know exactly where it came from because nobody emails me on this address because it's just set up just for this stuff.
Yeah, there's Luis's email, and you can email him for tech support. Seth asks, "Are there any FPV group gatherings in New York?" Seth, I know that there is a faction in New York. You might have to look up New York FPV on Facebook. No, there's there's actually used to be a group out in Brooklyn who they have an airfield somewhere out in Brooklyn that they fly. They don't fly anywhere into Manhattan, but they do have RC airfields if you're in that area. The name of the drone that I had in my hand, Robert asked, that drone is called the Foxeer Foxwhoop. That's a 3.5-inch whoop with ducks, Caddx Vista, and a neb. That's a 6S version. That one's the faster, more powerful one. Get a little bit better flight time on a 6S, but usually true. You're running lower KV mode. A little more efficient than, say, 2450 kV. There was a debate. They were talking about motors on Bardwell's last live stream. They were talking about, someone asked the question, would the 2206, 2207 have a lower or higher speed 06 motor with the same KV? I thought that was a pretty interesting question. Yeah, it's called the Foxwhoop, Robert. Luis probably knows the answer to that question.
What was the question?
The 2207 motor, does it have higher RPMs or lower RPMs than a 2306? Same KV. The difference.
It'll have the same RP. It'll have the same RPMs. So one will have more torque than the other. Depending on the stator volume, 2207 or 2306.
2306. It actually has a 2207 has a smaller stator has less coils than 2306. The 2306 actually has less RPM, a little bit bigger, and with the smaller stator, get faster rev.
But they're the same KV you're saying? Is
Same
that what the
KV.
question was?
Same KV.
Well, the same KV. They should both be able to do the same RPM because it's the same KV at the same voltage. But the 23 or 2207 and 2306 we were talking about.
A 2207
should have a little bit more.
A little more torque.
Some more torque. Just more torque.
A little more low end power, a little more grunt.
A little more low end power. Yeah.
But the 2207 that they were saying, my understanding was that it does have a faster RPM, faster. But the 2306 has
higher top end.
Yeah, higher RPM. Yep. Will I have the Open Sky? Drones asked if I will have the Recon on the quad shop anytime.
What does this thing say? My shirt has the
breakdown.
The
right
formula
there.
For KV.
There you go. Yeah, I noticed that when you came in the door today. Pretty dope shirt. Where'd you get that shirt at?
It was handmade by Drone Mesh when he was doing stuff.
Oh, cool.
Drone Mesh, he's kind of like fallen off. Although I did see that he posted a video up about a week ago, but it was just he took it down immediately. It wasn't really a drone video, but at least I saw that he was still alive because he kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, he did. You guys need me to be closer to my mic? Is that what you're saying? Robert's asking, how could that be arranged? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Box whoop. Yeah, what happened to Drone Mesh? I
don't know what happened to Drone Mesh. I think he was just doing other stuff. But he's definitely like the video he posted the other day was he was just messing around with his son, and he was telling he's like, oh, now you just post a video here, and then like within 1 minute he deleted the video. So it really wasn't a post. He was just kind of messing around with his son.
Oh, weird.
I don't know what happened to him. He's just not doing stuff. No. And he's not responsive. He doesn't let anybody know what happened to him. He's just kind of doing his own thing, which is fine.
Yeah. Started his own company. Okay. That says he started his own company. Maybe he's gone off into production. Ran off into production because he produces really nice video.
Yeah, and he's I think he's an engineering guy. Like he does engineering because he knows how to do. He knows a lot about electrical engineering. He knows how to make PCBs. So he was doing a bunch of that stuff. Who knows what I don't know what he started doing.
Yeah, I think if you guys stop seeing drone camps making videos, I'd probably go back to production myself because that was my original job, was production. Even though it's taken me the longest time to get the best setup for a live stream. But what's weird about YouTube is that the better I produce things sometimes, the more it looks like a commercial. Like people want something more raw for you, or like believable. That's unfortunate for me because I love to make things look right. But then they're like, oh, advertisement, nice. So we're kind of dealing.
I'm looking back. I'm scrolling back in the chat because there's some kind of question about the Recon, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, Open Sky Drone's asking if the Recon's gonna be up for sale. I got sidetracked. So for the 7-inch class, I will put that one up at some point soon, but I have something that I need to do first with that drone. So that one's on hold for now, but will go up for grabs and Open Sky, like anybody that wants a certain drone, send me an email so that we're in contact together. I know you want. Because as soon as it goes up in the quad shop, somebody's probably going to pop it. Because it'd be a hell of a good, especially if you want 7-inch. Things are $500-600. Chimera 7, which I'll probably never sell. That one's like 700. Poor boy asked, he'd like to know what I think of his 2.5-inch 3D printable drone. Poor boy, maybe share a link with us. Share a link in the chat. We can check it out. We can pull it up in the browser. Somebody can judge you and give you a critique.
Are links allowed in the browser in here? Let's see here.
Yeah, links are allowed. My email is dronecamps@gmail.com. And that's Louis. TechFPV@gmail. So if you guys want a quad, you best email me. Say, hey, I want it.
And not through Telegram or WhatsApp.
Yeah, not through Telegram. I don't use Telegram. I will never comment on any single video or giveaway. Recently, we had a whole bunch of spammers on YouTube saying, hey, check out my WhatsApp, call this number and link up with me and pay for the shipping, and then I'll send it to you. It's not drone camps. They're using my profile icon. They're pretending to be. So that's the biggest scam on YouTube right now, is that they get you guys to send them $50 PayPal and then they dip. But they pose as me. Comments. They're like, hey, you want a prize. Unfortunately, some of the people that are on the channel watching these videos might be in a remote area of the world. Maybe the not as good of an economy as where I'm at. Maybe they just get duped. Maybe they just think, oh man, that's Justin. Yeah, I'll send you $50. Ship to Nigeria. Yeah, so that's why I only announce the winner on a video on this channel. That's the only way that I do that.
Okay. Sorry. I'm learning how to do this multitasking here. I keep getting distracted.
So yeah, just email me. What's up, Mike? Welcome to the live stream, bro. Naples, man, I wish I was in Naples right now because it's like freaking 30-some degrees here in Oregon. It is cold as a mo.
Yeah, it's definitely cold. But you've got like your doors open at your house. That's what I don't get.
So the dog doesn't pee on the floor. Mrs. Camp's like, he controls the doors in this house. If I close it, she opens it. Worried about that carpet. That dog will pee on the carpet. Can't get out.
All right.
She's a year old now, and little happy FPV is learning how to like scratch on the back door. He'll scratch now. All dogs in it. You know. Man, I'm saying, Sam, Mike, I wish all of us could take a FPV trip down to Naples and fly.
So apparently your discount code isn't working at iFlight, but
let me double check that. I probably shouldn't do it live stream, but I'll hop into. So for Skyzone, I just released a link to Skyzone if you want to buy the SteadyView X coming out, and their coupon code for like $10 off is Justin Davis, all capitals, Justin Davis. So Skyzone, that's the code for Skyzone. For iFlight affiliate, let me get quick. Fast.
Yeah, man, I want to go somewhere warm. I'm sick of the cold right now. It's killing me.
Ready to get out of here. We do have a trip to Hawaii coming up, so I'm going to Maui. Mrs. Camps and the family, we're taking the kids out there. I want to teach the kids how to surf. Let's see here now, iFlight. Let me see if iFlight not give any discount. Show no love. Come on, iFlight. Yeah, I don't see any discount code in my affiliate account for iFlight store. Unfortunate.
They took it away for now.
Yeah, and speaking of iFlight, yeah, they don't have any discounts for you. Speaking of iFlight, it's driving me crazy right now. I was watching MadTech's stream yesterday, and he has his Defender 25 in his hand. And I'm like, damn, I got serious FOMO yesterday. I freaked out. I started immediately messaging. Like, where's mine?
He gets stuff before us because he's in the UK.
Yeah.
So he gets stuff before like a week before us or something.
I hope to God that's what it is, because I mean, I don't want to be first, but I don't want to be last either. But if I'm last, then so be it. I will still get you guys my opinion on it. Our opinion matters here.
If you're not first, you're last.
And I've talked about that before. I hate like the info race. It's like an info race in TV to be. I think the quality goes down when you try to just pick out a review really fast. So that kind of sucks. I hate that. I mean, all these guys are really educated on FPV, but first, not spending time with the product. If you spend like a week with something and fly it every couple days, you a lot more. So let's just go ahead and do a few more questions and answers, a little more Q&A for a few more minutes, and then we'll jump into the next part of this stream, which is our January FPV gear roundup. So we're going to talk about what came out in January, and also we're going to give you guys some insight on what's up for February. Product release in February after the Chinese New Year.
Rick LeBlanca says Bardwell and Blunty look different today.
Are they streaming today?
No, I think he's talking about us.
Oh. Right. Yeah, Bardwell and Blunty look.
Let's see. Let me.
We're like the alternate reality. Well, Blunt.
Yeah, the slightly older, slower Bardwell and Blunty. Because we're a little bit older than them. We're like 10 years older.
I am not slow. I rode my bike 10 miles yesterday. Right.
I'm definitely a lot blinder. I can barely see my screen right now. Like I usually don't use this laptop as a laptop. I have it connected to a big screen, and like I can barely read my screen. I'm blind. I'm a blind man.
Z-Bear asks if we dealt with the light leak on the DJI Goggles. Deal with it. So Z-Bear 99, there is a foam insert that you can get for the DJI Goggles. That's the one speaking of. It's so confusing though. There's the V2, and then there's the Goggles too. Thank you DJI for all. And there's a V1. So you can get some extra foam padding to add to. Yeah. Okay. So you have some on the way. That will. So my face is smaller. I have like a Chinese sized head or something. So a lot of the stuff coming from China fits my head. I'm Chinese sized. In my t-shirts, like I wear a medium, so I'm like an XL in China. Big guy in China. I'm still in some.
I'm like I'm a giant in China, dude. Nothing. None of the shirts from China fit me.
Some guys were also asking about Drone Camp's 2X shirts. We have to do a new batch of shirts. But you might be able to hop on my Teespring from my YouTube channel, and you might be able to get a 2X in the Teespring store. So you might be able to select that size in Teespring for black Drone Camp's logo tee. Right now, I'm working on some new designs for some Drone Camp's merch. I want to make some T-shirts and some beanies and baseball hats with DC Army Strong. I think that would be.
Yeah, like that sounds cool.
Like to have a DC Army Strong. Because you guys, when someone messes with me, I've been trolled by other channels before. I've seen like hordes of you guys go over and like voice your opinions. Not attacking anybody, but going over there, setting their record. I appreciate picking up for the anybody pull us. I got some pretty thick skin at this point. The goggles scan your retina. Well, phone doesn't scan your retina?
I don't understand what that means.
Robert's worried about it scanning. I think phones scan your retina. So if you have your phone in front of your face and you're this, it'll scan your retina anyway. Cody says he's attacking something. Be nice, Cody. So guys, we're gonna go
Steadfast.
We're gonna go ahead and what's up? Welcome Midnight Ariel as well. 3D printed nose piece. Yeah, need that for mine. I feel like the nose piece.
I'm not on DJI, so I don't know anything about those goggles.
Scan your eyes from a bird database.
That sounds interesting.
I don't know about that, Robert, because the goggles, dude, the goggles are not connected to the internet, so you can't really scan your eyes and send it back to a database because there's no EE Wi-Fi connection to goggles while you're flying. Now, if you have a phone and you're flying, that might be a different story because your phone is connected to the internet. But all of these goggles, even my goggles too over there, they don't have remote ID. None of the goggles have remote ID at this point. So you don't have to worry about that, Robert. I would be more worried about flying phone and it scan your eye.
Oh, Open Sky is asking me what I use for goggles. I have the Skyzone O2, not the newer O2, but the 4 or 5-year-old O2 V pluses, they're called, which I've had for about 4 or 5 years now. But I am ordering the HD0 goggles, and I have the Walksnail VRX, which I just got this last week, and I'm gonna put them on the HD0. I have a weird, like, you can't. I'm not anti DJI, but I just have a weird thing. Like, I've got my own feelings about buying stuff from DJI, so I don't buy stuff from DJI personally. But if you like DJI, that's totally cool.
Man,
I don't care if you use it.
I was gonna give you a pair of DJI goggles, Louis.
Oh, I have said that the only way I would use DJI if somebody gave me some, but yeah, that hasn't happened yet.
Luke, I am your father. We're gonna get Luis flying some DJI, you guys.
I just have a weird thing about that company. They annoy. There's things about them that annoy me, so I don't like giving them money.
Bro, once you start drinking the Kool-Aid, you can't stop.
That's what everybody has said.
Dude, the Kool-Aid is so good.
I mean,
it's
no
so
doubt.
good. Oh,
There's no doubt. I mean, whenever I've put on other people's DJI goggles, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Johnny D, I still have my O3Os, and they still work after like 5 years. They're like my longest running.
I kind of wanted actually, I can't remember if the O3Os had the diopter or the adjustable. Thing with goggles, I am really picky with goggles because I have to have a custom diopter. If it can't accept a diopter, then I can't use those goggles. Like, I just there's no way around it. I have like Coke bottle lenses and a really bad astigmatism.
Like Bardwell says his favorite analog goggles are O4X, and mine right now as well. They have such a range that even with my astigmatism, I can dial in one to fix that in one eye, and the focal range is so large that I believe even with Luis,
I'm like a close to a +7, like +6.7.
I think
this most of these goggles
they go all the way to 9 on the.
Do they?
Yeah.
Huh.
8 or 9. Like, it's really big range. So Bardwell doesn't have to wear glasses when he flies with us.
Yeah, but he's nearsighted. I'm farsighted. So like, it's a different story with those farsighted people.
The other way.
Yeah.
I somehow have 20.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless I'm tired. When I'm tired, everything starts good.
Yeah, by the end of the day, my vision is pretty fuzzy.
Yeah, Robert, don't worry about retinal scan with goggles, man. Not going to be a thing.
At least not yet, I don't think.
And even
I can totally see it happening.
Even though you do a firmware update, like, you're not wearing them when you do the firmware update. They're all just sitting on the bench for updating the firmware. It could probably take a snapshot of your retina somehow. Maybe you save it to an SD card on the eye, and then when you did hook it back up to your computer to do a firmware update, it could somehow, I don't know how the hell it could transfer it, but sure, if they wanted to do something like that, they could. But, you know, at this point, I mean, we have smart TVs, we have this being accepted right now, and logging our keywords and setting up advertising, targeted advertising. We're all in the matrix together. We're all cyborgs. I think Neil deGrasse, or I think it was Neil deGrasse saying that we're all cyber dream already. We've been hooked up to these machines for some.
Yeah, it's a little.
We are the machine.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting.
Yeah, we are the machine
Like,
guys.
we're definitely the machine.
The only way you can not be the machine is turn off everything and go out in the woods. And then you're probably going to be correctly. You still play live video of you from satellite on somewhere. So you have to actually go to Mars. And even at Mars, you're not even safe because there's probably video on Mars.
Yeah.
Can't escape.
See, I've always thought that we're just basically that we're machine. We're a computer. Like we're basically computers because we're a robot because we work off electricity. Our whole body is based off electricity. Like everything we do.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like a quad works, like a quad flight controller works by electronic impulse, of ones and zeros, right? And firmware to make it function. And then it also works with physical hardware. So essentially, the human brain also works off electrical impulses, physical hardware, energy.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
electron. To think that a quadcopter is a small version of going around air.
It's an extension of our brain when we're flying it, basically.
Mars is littered with garbage from. Robert, you took the red pill? Me too. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into some of January FPV Roundup. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. I know a lot of you guys are wanting to see this CineLog. So we're going to flip over to the desktop camera right now and let us know in the chat. When we do that, we're going to go to a different section of OBS. So hopefully it doesn't mute Luis. But we're gonna give that a shot. And actually, you know what I can do is
Is it still working for me?
yeah, let's go ahead and
have you
we'll just
switched
do
over
it
yet?
on my side of the screen here. That way you don't get just show it. Keep this simple. We'll get fancy later. Okay.
All right.
Now you guys can see the new quad and we'll see in here Luis. This is the CineLog 20. Brand new in the house today. Yesterday it came. We put an unboxing on the channel for you guys so you can see what's included in the box. You can now see unboxings of pretty much everything that's going to come through the channel. Made a new playlist on the YouTube channel that'll give you about a 30-second to 1 minute unboxing of every single thing that comes in the door. So you'll see all the newest releases in the shorts now, which I think is great because you could just quickly look at what's new. And if you want to go back and look at what you might have missed during the week or something that hasn't even been reviewed yet,
shit.
you can see. So this little guy, Luis was checking it out. It has 2-inch props on here. It does not have the under-over design like the Cine Onzi Axis flying. Just a straight up unibody top plate with tension on the bottom, probably about around a 1/2 inch or so for that O3 sticking out the bottom. And there you can see there's access to the SD card slot and USB port on the bottom. So you can just barely slide an SD card in there without hitting that prop guard. You can kind of see that. Get a little closer to the camera. You can see that slot right by the top of that prop guard. So it's super close, but it's better access than what we had for the GEP than about 30. The Cine about 30 people complained that there was not enough room to get to the card slot. But this little guy is going to be a competitor to Axis Flying Z20. We'll do a comparison of this in the review coming up. But what I like about it so far, guys, is GEP-RC, when they design something, I was showing Luis this earlier. Like, check this out. There's dampening for the camera platform up here that I showed you in that in that YouTube short unboxing, and there's also dampening below it. So there's actually grommets on this 03 camera just below there. So if you look at it close, see the little tiny grommets down there, and there's a stage. So this camera's floating on grommets, which is going to help out the 03 vibrations and should give you much smoother 03 non-jello footage. That's super dope. I haven't seen that yet in any other design.
Yeah, that's pretty cool isolation they've got going on there.
Yeah, that's really nice. It's got a little bit of camera protection with this top plate being over it as well for those vertical impacts. If you have another camera sitting up here on top, you'll have a little bit extra protection as well, because your camera is going to take the hit instead of your 03. Robert says the blades on that one are close to the center, making airflow less effective. No. The airflow on this one will be fine because you have inverted motor and you have no airframe obstruction. There might be slight airframe obstruction with this platform sticking out on the side there, which is going to cause a little bit of wonky airflow, but I will show you that in the flight test. The video never lies.
It might be a tiny bit less efficient, but
yeah, I don't
very, very much.
I don't think it's really going to affect. With a 4S battery running that power system, it's going to be pretty locked in. I've flown these props before. These are Emax 2-inch props. You guys
little
remember
Emax
these?
props, Tiny Hawk props.
Yeah,
or not Tiny Hawk, but one of those.
They were the Avon. I believe they were the original Avon 2-inch.
Yep. With the little little teeny hook at the end.
And I think the motors were 1300 series. Hard to get that in focus. That with my eyes. Is the 1303.5, and these are 5500 kV.
Man, that's I'm just looking at their webpage right now about this thing.
There we go. Those pretty nice looking motors. They're silver bells, and we have 4 bolts holding on the motor. Someone recently said, "Oh man, only 3 bolts through and into a motor." They do a little bit of weight reduction with that. You could even run 2 bolts on each motor if you want to be super crazy about weight. Sometimes people will take off 2 bolts off a motor. As long as the bolts are tight, the motor will still perform just perfect. I've done it on freestyle quads before, but it really doesn't make. Better off running 4 bolts.
Yeah, I think I like using all the bolts. I think it makes a little bit of a difference.
Yeah. So let's give you a little size comparison here between the Cinebot 30 and the CineLog 20.
That's the 20, and then the 30. That's the 30.
Yeah, this is the 30. This has 3-inch props, and this little guy over on the left has 2-inch props. They both have the same type of camera platform. It's pretty cool. They both have these groms on here, staged grommet platform. And Foxwhoop has a hard mount for their camera up front, but they're not running the 03s on that one. And there's been some talk about 03s being hard mounted to a frame and resulting in a lot of jello. So a lot of these companies are taking note of that. They're really trying to make sure that these are soft mounted to the frame. That just means adding some type of TPU to it, or in GEP-RC's case, like they added the ultimate soft mount because they're using groms and staging, and that really should eliminate a lot of jello. I can't wait to show you the video for that.
Is that an issue with the O3 camera, or is it just
Um,
why am I? What do I keep on? I
So-
seem to think I remember hearing somebody say that there's something loose inside the camera that can be tightened up.
well, it depends on the manufacturing of the camera, the particular camera. It's kind of like getting a car from a dealership, manufacturing that particular item that person had something loose inside the camera. Not all the cameras have loose parts, because I have a bunch of O3s here. Like, I'm starting to get hordes of O3s. And only certain designs, and it also depends on the quad frame design. But I've yet to have one have something loose inside.
Oh, okay.
And you can see it. But someone did have an O3 camera that had a loose camera lens.
Like,
it wasn't properly screwed in, and it was loose. So what he did was he tightened it up till it was in focus, and then he put some liquid tape in the threading, very light liquid tape. Hold it still.
That's what I'd heard. Yeah,
because he had some wiggle in his camera where it screws in, and that was resulting.
The question on this CineLog, yeah, CineLog 20. Yeah, that's what we all wonder. Does it freestyle? Will it freestyle?
Jamie asked when we will have a review for this one coming up. We're gonna do one this week. So coming up, possibly tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll have the full review of the CineLog 20. Be a lot of fun, indoor, outdoor. Probably.
And we actually had like 3 or 4 days of no rain here this week, which is pretty awesome.
That's unheard of in Portland.
Yeah.
We're so sick of rain here, you guys. I go outside and scream sometimes. And I've actually flown in the rain on quite a few reviews in the last month. It hasn't stopped raining.
What's up, Infinity Loops? How you doing there?
Yo, welcome to the live stream, Infinity. Appreciate you being here, bro. You guys should check out Infinity Loops channel as well. Subscribe.
Yeah, his channels. I like his content.
We haven't seen Bruce today. Where's XJet? Is he asleep? Somebody wake that old man up.
What time is it out there? I don't even know.
Yeah, Australia time. I'm not sure. He usually comes creeping around at some point. Next few hours, waking up. Yeah, so Bruce was in the live stream yesterday on MadTech, and it seems like if MadTech and XJet live close to each other, they'd be like best friends. XJet comes from an engineering background, and so does MadTech. And those guys are actually older than you and I, so we're not the oldest guys in the FPV.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We're not senior citizens, bro.
Not yet. I'm not part of the AARP or whatever it's called. No senior discounts yet, but nope. I feel like I should get them.
I used to try to get a senior discount at the theater when I was in high school. I'd tell them I'm a senior, and they'd laugh. But I was a senior in high school. No discount for you. No soup for you. So CineLog 20, there it is, guys. And I'm expecting good things from this. 10-bit 4K FPV, or well, 1080p FPV, and then 4K at 60 frames per second, 10-bit. So if you haven't updated your firmware on your O3, you should. This 10-bit looks so much better. I saw a comparison of it recently, and better black point. little bit finer detail. It is a noticeable difference. So I appreciate DJI for making that firmware update. That helps us a lot. So we also, I mean, and that's one of the coolest, probably hottest releases for January. And we also have that Axis Flying Cine on comparison. I'm going to try to find that for you guys real quick to show you some differences. And we're going to talk about, you know, some of the stuff in the review you're going to hear here today. You're going to hear me talk about between these two quads. And I know you guys want to know about that. So some of you guys are on the fence, like, which one should I buy? So we're going to try to clear that up. But I'll be right back, and Luis can fill you guys in. Any questions that you have coming in through the chat.
Yeah, more on the tech side, I suppose, because I don't know about all these things that he's got on the list. Because I don't get these things. He gets these things, so I can't really comment too much on them just yet.
So here it is. This is the Axis Flying Cine On 20. They both have 2-inch props here. CineLog and Cine On. So many Cinas. It's just confusing. Now, one thing that I do notice right away, okay, and this is a very general observation of the CineLog 20 versus the Cine On, is that they both have foam bumpers on the outside. I also noticed that these prop guards are thinner on this one, and the foam bumpers out here are thinner as well. So what that might do in a 4S freestyle situation is create less drag, obviously, and it might perform better. So right now I'm kind of wondering, this extra amount of foam on this one is going to increase the amount of flight controller freak out, what we know as tumble or washout. So you're gonna have more washout with this one because we have bigger and deeper ducts. These are a little bit deeper. All that really does affect the flight characteristics here. So you can see Cine On's a little bit thinner. And still, they both have 1300 series motors. These are the C135s and 1305.5. So GEP RC motor is just a tiny smidge bigger. But we got 5-blade prop on this one. We got a 4-blade prop on the GEP RC one. But the elephant in the room here, you guys, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Luis might already know by looking at it. Just get it a little closer to the camera for you. Okay, can you guys see the elephant in the room here? Put him over and under here.
Trying to see what's going on here.
Okay, you guys just look at that Cine On 20 and look at, I'm showing it right up to you. This is going to be super obvious here.
Unfortunately, the video that I'm seeing right now is all pixelated on my end.
Okay. All right, so Luis has an excuse, you guys. But the main difference between these two quads...
well, it's going to be that isolation, the camera isolation a little bit.
Exactly. So with the way that the Cine On is set up, I've showed you guys this before in the video. There's no camera protection here for the O3. It's completely out front in the open. It has no type of football helmet around this thing. It doesn't have side plate protection, and it's hanging up here. It's isolated with this TPU mount from the side right here, and you know, it has a little bit of give to it. Feels like a tiny bit of dampening. So that is technically a soft mount, but I'm wondering if that gives more vibration than this type of grommet setup and staging. So this one has a carbon stage over to a grommet system. So I'm wondering, this feels a little firmer. So it doesn't bounce as much. So when this thing turns on and all that frame vibration starts oscillating around the frame, that's going to translate to the video. So it's going to be interesting to see who's got a better camera mount system. I'm so glad that both of these are so different, because video is going to be the proof. And the O3 is supposed to have Rocksteady 2.0 stabilization, which it looks pretty decent when you turn that on.
Yeah, I like that setup they've got there. That the GIMP-RC, the isolation. That's a cool setup.
Yeah, I'm really
promising. Looks promising.
This looks proper to me, you guys. I feel like this one I talked about in the review. I feel like it's kind of like it's a beautiful oil painting, for example. Sometimes an artist will create a portrait and make the most beautiful portrait of a person, and then the background is kind of like second rate. They didn't put enough work into the background, but they have this beautiful detailed face of a human, but the background was done maybe for 5 minutes. So I feel like they did all this design here with this under over. Like the engineer was like, oh man, I'm gonna design this like downward facing motors in the front, and we're gonna have isolation here, a little isolation standoff, and upward facing motors in the back, and that's gonna create a unique frame design. 2 carbon plates, bottom plate, top plate, over under design, and then we'll just put a TPU thing there for the camera. I feel like there should have been more emphasis in the engineering department for this. This seems too simple. I mean, not enough camera protection for me, for my opinion.
Yeah, that thing is hanging out there, way out in the open there.
I mean, it does, like, it sticks out quite a bit in comparison. Like, look at that. It's almost in front of the prop guards right there. Whereas this one got some clearance.
I could say something that my dad would say, but I don't think I should say that.
And the other thing that was bothering me about this one is the fact that I feel like this camera, and it might be just me, but I feel like it's like tilted slightly to the left or right. You see how it looks like it's not straight? That drives my OCD crazy. I feel like that thing is
that kind of thing drives me crazy.
It's crooked, you guys. It's not straight. Look at that. You can see it on the screen. Am I right?
I can see it there a little bit. I can't tell if that's just the angle, but yeah, it does look like it's a little bit crooked.
Well, it's not the angle. I've been messing with this camera since I got like, it drives me crazy, and my OCD is firing off big time.
Get your hot air gun and heat up that TPU.
Yeah, that's bothering me. Hey, Johnny D, take care, bro.
Here, give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's totally crooked, right? So it's gonna be a great review. And we're gonna compare the video. We're gonna put it up, two up on the screen for you guys so you can see the difference. I know you guys are on the fence about which one to get, and so far, like, my premonitions are that CineLog is going to be the winner, but your mount for your Cine-On's crooked too. Yeah, that shit drives me crazy, man. I don't know it hurts my soul when things aren't straight. Like, I'm an artist and a graphic designer and video editor, but in my graphic design, a lot of my logo designs, I always love symmetry. Everything has to be symmetrical, man. That might be why I'm so obsessed with quadcopters. A lot of things are symmetrical. Yeah, open sky drones, like, Axis. I've talked about Axis design team before. I think their engineering department is insane. These guys are amazing. Like the type of stuff that they've come out with straight out the gate with the original X8 design. They designed a 4S 2-inch X8. That means that thing had 8 motors. It had under over design 2-inch quad, and it was the coolest design in the world. But then it only had a 2-minute flight time. So I was WTF about that, but they sent us a new battery. It was a 4S 1500, which lengthened the flight time to about 3 minutes. So this amazing design ended up not being practical. It was cool to look at. It was cool to fly. It was cool. I mean, it sounded like a pack of bees coming at you. Like 4 2-inch props. 8 2-inch props at the same time is super loud. It's definitely a Karen attractor. Don't fly that near a playground, but this is definitely different, and that's what Axis seems to want to do with all their design. Think outside the box. FRC is, from an engineering standpoint, a little more predictable. Like every time I get a new GapRC box and I open it up, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. Like if you vary your formula from product to product and you had good results before, you're not going to have drastically different results come out with a new airframe. CineLog 35 is loud? Really? Fly it on 3S, bro. So, I mean, for example, check this out. This is a 6-inch quad. This is also from Axis, and this is the Colas 6. This also has downward-facing motors, and it's also a foldable design. It locks in place. It'll carry a GoPro. This thing is insane. It has DJI on here. It has an 6S motor configuration, and it has freaking GPS on here, as well as your DJI's down bottom and a custom TPU mount. So everything about this quad is completely custom top to bottom. I've never seen anything like this in the FPV world. Now, in the DJI world, they did have a design very similar to this. So when this first came out, I thought, oh my God, it's a shrunk down version of an S900. How freaking cool is that? Or an S1000. They used to have this drone way back in the day. Google it, DJI S1000, and the arms went folded down like this to be able to transport it easier. And for this, like a 6-inch that you can fold down this flat, this comes out and goes down. Man, this is cool. You could take this on a trip overseas. You could put this in a pretty small bag, and then you don't have these giant arms sticking out like these are. So this is a super innovative design from Axis too. Like they really put a lot of engineering into the products. They also did the Colas 7 be a foldable 7-inch. I would participate in an FPV YouTuber boxing tournament. Absolutely, I would box anybody in FPV. Yeah, I used to box when I was a kid. I was on the wrestling team. I played high school basketball. I grew up with an older brother, so well, he was my uncle, but we lived in the same house. He was 4 years older than me, so I used to get my butt kicked all the time. So I had to learn how to like hit back. And so as a kid, when I got hit, like if you hit me, it would just make me madder. I just get madder when I get hit in the head. So I had to learn how to not run away. They were asking if I would be in a FPV YouTube Boxer tournament. Sure.
That would be pretty funny. Who would you pick? Who would you pick to box?
I'm a little bit like Sammy Davis Jr. though. I'm fast. I'm fast as fuck. Like if Luis hit me really good in the head, he would knock me down. But he would have to be moving really quick to get me, catch me off guard.
Yeah, you're like a little
like
springy guy.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, who would you pick? Who would you pick to be who would you box?
If you box anybody, dude.
Box
anybody.
No, I mean, if you were to pick like a challenger in the FPV boxing ring, who would you pick?
I don't know, man.
I definitely would not want to pick Bruce XJet. Have you seen his arms lately?
Yeah, but you know, Bruce is 70 years. He's 70 years old. Like,
but he's got that old man strength. That old man strength scary sometimes, man.
I wouldn't fight Bruce because he's an old man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight a 70-year-old. It's not appropriate.
I wouldn't pick any. I'd be like, I've got my bong here. You want to come? We'll just go take some bong hits.
Yeah, I'm not a violent person. It might be fun, but like it doesn't really prove anything. I wouldn't back down from a boxing match. That'd be pretty stupid. That'd be pretty funny.
I'm sure people would watch it.
People be laughing their ass off if I got my ass knocked down. Might happen. It probably would happen. I think I was moving smart, and then bam, you get hit in the head. Like when they're in a boxing match, like you never know what the hell is going to happen.
Put it on DraftKings, and we can bet on it.
If Bardwell hit me with a right hook, I'm sure I'd go down. I'd stand right back up though because I'd be humiliated. Like whenever I've gotten hurt the worst. See, I was a skateboarder growing up, and I was on my way to class one day, and I hit like a stick in the road, fell down on my face in front of like 10 like Catholic schoolgirls. Dude, they were rolling in laughter. And immediately, even though it knocked the breath out of me on the concrete, I stood right back up and I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. Got around the corner and started crying. But also moving on, guys, we have the X35 was also brand new in January, and this guy came from Acon. Acon wanted to bring something to you guys that was more durable than the Geek 3.5. The Geek 3.5 had those like carbon fiber prop guards, if you remember.
Yeah, I think so.
So that one flew extremely good, and this one doesn't have the freestyle capability, but people are like, oh, well, you know, CineWhoop's not for freestyle. But I usually test both because I want to see if these things have duality. If they have cinema and freestyle. But I think it's a damn cool looking frame design, and like GoFly or Acon or whatever you want to call this company, they're coming out with some pretty cool CineWhoops. I'd like to see what they do for a 7-inch or 5-inch design. I don't have any of their 7-inch or 5-inch designs yet, but when I first got in the box, Luis, I thought Hex 35. I'm like, oh my god, it's a Hex. I took it out of the box as a quadcopter.
It's just the Hex
the prop guards. Yeah, it's just a hexagonal prop guard. That's all it is. They tricked me.
But they make some cool stuff, though. They make some good stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice frame.
They have in the past.
You know, they've passed the quality tests in my eyes. Like for the first 2 releases that they did, I love the Geek 3.5. It was lighter than any of the other CineWhoops out there. You know, this one's supposed to be the unbreakable Fox Whoop. This thing feels like Catalyst Machine Works Beast versus the Acon Geek 3.5. So this one feels lighter than the Fox Whoop. If I can find my scale real quick, I'd show you.
I was just I'm just going over to the Acon website just because I wanted to see, because they've been doing electronics for a while now. This so these are their first. I have not paid attention to this. So these are their first quads that they've actually been producing, huh? I don't think Justin can hear me right now. Can you hear me, Justin?
So this one is 246 grams on the scale. You can just barely see that screen. I'll try to change my image settings a little bit, bring some more, lower the brightness so you guys can see. That's 247 on the scale. You guys should be able to see that, can't you?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, cool. So there's the Hex 35 on the scale, and I'm saying this feels lighter. Fox Whoop. This is the Fox Whoop coming in at 260. So it's a little heavier. Feels like a beast, and I think it's because of this thick top plate here. We have like 6mm top plate. This is like the thickest top plate of any CineWhoop out there. Like, look how ridiculously thick these arms are. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a thick arm for a CineWhoop.
Yeah, I've never seen such a thick CineWhoop. But so yeah, you can tell.
And that thing could take a beating, pretty good beating.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the unbreakable CineWhoop,
quote unquote. Yeah.
But that's the Hex 35 right there. The arm on that is probably 5mm. No, probably 4mm. About 2mm shorter.
Let's see. Pull that Hex 35 back up. Let's see the camera.
Yep. There's it's kind of an injection molded ABS type of thing. That's got pretty good camera protection right there, and they have the protector ring around it too, the TPU protection ring. I love that. Sometimes that gets in the way of filming, but you just have to back it up a little bit. You can trim it. Razor blade. But let's go ahead and put, while you got you guys here, let's go ahead and put the Gep RC Cinebot 30 on there. So that one's 257. So I mean, the Hex 35, it has a bigger wingspan on it. It's 3.5-inch prop, and you know, we do have a camera setup on the Cinebot 30, but 246 grams. The Hex 35 is lighter than the Cinebot 30. Cinebot 30 is smaller, and you're adding a few extra grams on there with the Thumb Pro on there, but still, that's pretty impressive. About 10 grams lighter for the Hex 35. So this one actually sold, and I have to ship this one out. If I don't get it out today, I will get it out tomorrow.
And you got the thumb on there too, so that's a little, like, what, 10 grams or something?
Yeah, probably, give or take. So moving on. Karen. Moving on, Karen.
What are you pulling up next here?
So let me get my trusty list up here. And we might not make it through this whole list today because we spent so much time on the CineLog 20. But I'll give you as much of an update as I can. And you guys probably saw the unboxing. Skyzone has come out with the SteadyView X, and this is a ground station, and it's cool because it comes with the ground station housing. So not only do you get the module for your goggles, you also get a ground station setup. And it also
that's pretty
comes
cool.
with a patchy antenna, and it comes with right-hand circular polarized antenna for analog video.
Does it have a little color screen on there? Is that color?
Yeah, it does have a color IPS screen on here.
Huh.
Kind of nice. And it comes with an omnidirectional and a patch antenna. And it also has audio video out on a 3.5mm cable. It has a super long XT60 cable that can run 2 to 6S. So this thing can literally, you can plug a 6S battery into this module, which is freaking amazing. Let me turn up the brightness. That for you guys. I finally have camera control. Love that I have camera control. I'm using the Insta360 Link, if you're wondering. It will do desktop view and it'll go back to our main view, but super nice cam. And so when I plug in a 6S battery, this baby lights up. It has a built-in physical fan on here as well for cooling. Jog wheel selection. It also has a technology on here that pretty much all the other receivers don't have. Goggle receivers. It takes basically, it brings in 2 streams and it combines them into one stream to give you the best image quality. And this is the updated version. Someone said on the channel yesterday or the day before, like, this is just the same SteadyView with a new box, a fan put on it. No, this is a completely new build and new hardware version, as well as
they're supposed to have updated their hardware because they had some issues with it. So it's a new release apparently.
This is a new release, as well as another product that can go along with it is the ELRS backpack. So if you wanted to pair up your goggles with your VTX on your quad using your ELRS receiver, you can now do that with the ELRS backpack. It has a little board that snaps right on the front of this module. So ELRS backpack is something that you can get as an accessory. I think it's like $20. It does not have HDMI out audio flight, but it does have 3.5mm out. So you can go out to monitor with this. So this is your AV out audio.
Yeah, it actually has the backpack built into it already, so it should just connect up to your.
Oh, does it? Do you see that on the website? So this is the this is the backpack by itself, with the USB port on there for updates. You've got your pins on this side to plug in. See on
it's
here it says Skyzone ELRS backpack. Get that in focus for you. See how good this camera view is. ELRS on that bottom part. Version 1.1 here. Pretty sweet. Nice looking piece of hardware. You can see some really nice chip soldering on that board. Not sloppy. Good. Looks nice and clean. ELRS backpack. You also get base plates for Fat Shark, O4X, and a couple more in the box. I don't know what these are. Maybe they're for different Fat Shark goggles.
It's for the Skyo 4, the EV300, the Eachine EV300 O's, Cobras, and the Fat Sharks.
Oh, so nice.
Those are what those 4 covers are for.
So yeah, I have 4 covers, and the largest one is probably for my O4X, Skyzone O4Xs. And they're not 3D printed, they're actually injection molded, so they're pretty legit. A lot of times these companies in the past were just doing like a TPU print and including it. Those look pretty nice. So quite a bit of stuff in that SteadyView X kit. That's pretty much all the stuff in the box. You also get a little it looks like they printed out in their office or Skyzone manual. But the problem for mine is it's printed so light that I can't read it. This bottom part right here, it's impossible. Can't read it. So I think I could probably take a picture of it with my phone, zoom into it. That's what I have to do nowadays even with 20/20 vision. But it gives us specs in here. 2 to 6S battery, 6 bands and 8 channels, obviously on each band. It looks like sensitivity is 98 dBm. Antenna connections are SMA. And you have a menu system in there. You can go into the menu and change things. USB firmware updates, and it weighs about 49 grams. What I can read on this.
And I was trying to find the manual on their website, but they don't have it.
I was also really petitioning Skyzone to come out with some HD0 type module or goggles. Because Ishin came out with their, what were they, the transporters, please?
The HD0 ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, transporter HDs. Ishin did those.
Like the cheapest pair of HD0 goggles you can get on the planet, $200. Detachable monitor, so you could use it on a tripod as well. You could take them out of the goggles.
I almost want those just to have the monitor itself, just to have bench stuff.
That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. So we also have the SpeedyBee frame kit, which I'm going to show coming up as well. We have that. It's called the Master 5. It's for the O3s, but a lot of people don't have the O3 yet. But I will do that review. We're going to talk about what Bardwell was talking about yesterday, and I chimed in on for that frame kit. Like, one of the issues this is not that quad, is through that in there. But one of the issues that I see with that SpeedyBee frame is it looks like a bird beak design up front. It's got some aluminum standoff that comes from like the front of it to where a standoff should be, but they omitted the standoff, so it adds like this whole open section of the frame up front where the camera is. You guys might have saw that. I feel like that's going to be kind of a pinch point for the frame when it goes in for impact. I feel like what they should have done was put an extra standoff up front. You know, I'm not sure why they left the open frame. I might be able to pull it up on the internet in my browser and show you guys that real quick. You know, Bardwell went on about a 40-minute rant yesterday about this frame, and you know, we won't really know until we fly it.
About the SpeedyBee frame we're talking about right now? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, the SpeedyBee frame.
Okay.
And I'll pull that up, give you guys a close-up of what that front end looks like. They have a really nice piece of aluminum up front. It looks like they're going to do an HD version and an analog version. So if you guys want to run an analog version, but it also has a 3-piece top plate. And sometimes people don't like that because it also reduces the strength of it.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that yesterday, which I can kind of I was understanding what he was saying. It'd be interesting to see how that actually translate into the real world.
And I know, I think Mads Tech might have a good view of it, but you know what? I could probably show it to you right here on the screen. We're just going to try to hop over to the browser real quick, and hopefully we don't lose Luis. But there we go. Okay. So the front end right there, you can see there is no standoff here. There's 4 in the middle. There's the center point release plate, but there's no standoff up front because they run this piece of aluminum back. And from the side, you can see all this open space here. And what that does is when you come in for a frontal impact, it's going to put a pinching point right where that connection is. So where this aluminum arm comes up to that post right there, where the bolt goes through, that's where my concern is. Right in front of the XT60 on the top plate. So really time will tell, and like whoever crash tests this first, full on frontal impact, plus the weight of a GoPro on top of this, I think you've got a possible recipe for disaster on a really hard impact in the front. I'm kind of calling it the bird beak, so to speak. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to add Luis back into to the mix here. But that's what we're looking at there. Now we're back on Luis'
Yeah, I think.
screen here.
Yeah, when you went off there, you weren't getting my audio anymore.
We'll have to fix that coming up.
We'll figure that out.
So you saw kind of what I'm talking about, Luis. If you didn't see it in Bardwell stream yesterday, that's kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah.
What I call the bird beak design. I feel like they could have simplified that, and they could have avoided that controversy by adding a standoff there instead of doing that extended side plate.
Yeah, it's like there's definitely a fulcrum point there.
There's
definitely a pressure point.
There's a gap there, and again, it's like spent so much time on creating that that complicated frame design that someone missed a very important point of the front end of the quad. And sometimes it's like engineers like flexing their engineering skills. Like, hey, we're going to do something different here. We're still going to have strength, and we're going to eliminate a standoff. But we won't know until somebody really crashes it, slam dunks it with a GoPro on top. Because when you add the extra additional weight of a GoPro on top, it's going to create even more of a crinkle point. Like if you look underneath a car hood, you can see these crinkle points, and I think that's kind of the same thing happen here. It might create like a crinkle point.
It'll be interesting to see how that works out.
TK asked if there's room to just add a standoff. No, because there's a bolt directly behind it, or directly in front of it. To add a standoff, what you'd have to do is you'd have to take those 2 side plates off. You'd have to like hacksaw off that extension so that you could get a mount in there. And then the other problem with that is I think that the bottom plate on it looks pretty thin. It might be like 2 to 3 mil. If it's not 3 mil, then you're gonna have like some issue there with putting a standoff there, because it's still gonna get. Yeah, you would have to go through a lot of trouble to be able to get a standoff in there. I don't think it'd be worth it. I have my frame kit right here. Just my light went out, so I apologize about that. Might be able to turn up the brightness on. So frame kit, and let's just pull up that bottom plate because it's a pretty thin bottom plate, and that kind of worries me. Brightness here.
Yeah, I don't know about. I mean, I've taken a really good look at the photo on their website of that frame.
Yeah.
And it really does look like it would just want to snap off right there.
I haven't built mine up yet.
But
Apologize about that, but we're gonna save that for the review. Just really quickly build that up in the review and look for that bottom plate. They do have a rubber dampener here to reduce some of the frame vibration, which is kind of a cool thing. 3M rubber dampener. Looks like a 3mm top plate. And you know what? It's interesting because the one they sent me doesn't look like it has the 3-part top plate. That's a single piece of carbon top plate on mine. So maybe there's two versions of it. I need to look on the box and see if this is not like the analog version or something, because I know that the HD version has 3-part top plate. So just looking at my box. No, this is the HD version, but I only see, they sent me a single part top plate, because this is the lower. And this looks to be about, oh my god, I think this is thinner than, looks thinner than 3mm to me.
that's pretty thin.
Yeah, it's thinner than the top plate. So the top plate, got my calipers here, but I can look at stuff and tell that this stuff so long. This top plate is definitely 3mm, and this bottom plate is thinner.
And that's all the plates you have, huh? You don't have a third, any other parts for the front?
Let me go through this box. I'm pretty sure I don't have extra parts here.
It looks like there should, looks like there definitely should be. Well, maybe not. I don't know. From what I'm seeing here,
I'm searching. I only have I have some silica.
What's in that bag?
Silica gel.
What's in the little bag with GPUs?
The bag is just those aren't TPUs. Those are actually oh no, they're 3D printed.
Injection.
They're 3D printed. Then we have this isolation dampener here. Like some people were asking what this is in like Bardwell was showing the website yesterday on the Sunday stream. And this is actually flexible. Check this out. This is a rubber injection mold dampener for your flight controller and ESCs. That's kind of a cool thing. For some reason that camera's not focusing. But that's different. And then you also get a clear one in the box. You get 2 different ones you could choose. Yeah, there's no other plates in here. It does have some pretty thick arms. These are definitely 5mm or bigger. So it wants to be a beast, but when you have an arm this large and then a bottom plate that small, kind of wondering if you're not going to break the frame when you go in.
Yeah, kind of interested to see how that thing goes together now.
So one of these feels thinner. So this one feels thinner. Right here it looks thinner. Then this might be the front end right here. I have to look at the schematic. But so there's some durability questions popping up about this frame, and honestly we won't know the truth until someone really slam dunks it, really crashes it hard. But there is speculation out there. This is all speculation, guys. This is not like you shouldn't buy this frame or whatever. You just don't know until we send it in. But a lot of times our assumptions are pretty close to correct. We have almost 10 years of experience of. And SpeedyBee hasn't been producing frames in the past either, so this is kind of their one of their first fortes into making frames. So out of the gate, the product looks really cool, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with pilots. People that some of you guys might have already bought this frame. It's Blunty vibes.
What?
Someone said I'm getting it's Blunty vibes. We'll have to put it's Blunty and Luis in the ring together.
It's plenty. I think I'd get along with him. We have a lot of similar. We have a very similar background. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah. But for the record, I would not box Bruce. That'd be senior abuse.
Senior abuse. You gotta respect your elders, man. Respect your elders.
I do. I respect Bruce 100%. You know, Bruce is a freaking legend.
Yeah, he's definitely a legend.
Like not just in like FPV, but he had like status in the RC world before drones and FPV got super popular. Like I was watching Bruce before I had my YouTube for his review of RC airplanes and stuff. Like he's been around RC airfields forever. He's one of my elders. I learned so much from guys like Bruce, like at the field. Those guys are the guys that got me flying RC. Celebrity box match.
Battle of the Beards.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should all grow beards to compete, see who has the best beards instead of a boxing match. Less people would get hurt.
Well, I mean, Blunty has got a head start on us for the beard. He's got a massive beard.
Yeah, that dude's got like an Amish beard. I like Blunty. I was telling Luis, telling you today, I kind of like it when the Bardwell streams with Blunty better than just Bardwell by himself. So when Bardwell was doing the Q&A yesterday, I was like, I miss Blunty. I want Blunty on the stream today. It's only Bardwell. Take a hit from Bruce. That wouldn't be good.
No, dude, his arms scare me. He's got like gorilla arms. Like he's hairy for one, but his arms are huge.
That's some Australian guys. They don't mess around. They don't eat junk like we do in the U.S.
Oh, he might take offense to that. He's from New Zealand.
Oh yeah, New Zealand. They don't eat junk in New Zealand, I would assume. Is New Zealand? I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. But you know what I've heard? I've heard that well, from my ex, the mother of my children, she lived in New Zealand for some time, and she frequented like the coastal towns of New Zealand, and her and I were together for 8 years, and she told me that where I'm from in New Zealand is very similar. So it's interesting to know that like the culture of New Zealand, coastal culture, is very similar to where I'm from. There's a lot of surfers, and beach culture type folks. You know, it is an island.
It is an island, yeah.
But
I've always wanted to go check out New Zealand.
We got a lot of fishermen types. I grew up around a lot of fishermen and carpenters. When they realized that I wasn't a fisherman or a carpenter, they're like, "Oh my God, Justin, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for a living, dude?"
I'm gonna fly RC toys for a living.
Yeah. If you'd have told 12-year-old me that I'd have a YouTube channel with 40 million views and 186,000 subscribers, I wouldn't even understand what you were talking about. I have my own TV station. But some of the other stuff that we had that come out in January, I just want to go over a few of those real quick. We also had the Recon 7 Pro, which you can go back and watch a review on. We had the Darwin FPV Cineape 25, which was also super cool. We have that one for a giveaway. I'm setting that up with a radio from RadioMaster and a pair of Beast goggles. So all the subscribers can win that one. Last week of February is when we're giving that away. So that review you can go back and watch if you want to check out the Cineape. It's super durable and it will freestyle. I also have sitting over here to my left something brand new from FMS. FMS is a plane and RC car manufacturer. And this was an 850 millimeter. Ah, Bruce would like this one. Speaking of Bruce, we'd have some fun in New Zealand with this at the field. So this is not out of the box yet. 850 millimeter RC airplane trainer from FMS. For now, an FMS affiliate. So I can't guarantee that we're going to FPV that one, but that one's coming up for review on the channel as soon as I can get a nice sunny day and get a receiver hooked up to that, set up on my radio. So a lot of cool airplanes should be on the channel this year as well. Trying to expand the channel as far as our sponsors go. We also a Horizon Hobby affiliate as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that Swordfish.
We have also, speaking of Swordfish, right? Keep all of my planes very close. So this one is a twin engine PNP or BNF model. You can fit your FPV gear up front. You also have a little spot up here for a micro cam. And you have intake up front here if you're going to use a feed action tube. You can also hook that up, but the flight controller is already in here with iNav on it. So that's kind of unheard of in the FPV plane world. There's not a lot of planes that you can buy that already have the flight controller in there with iNav. I wish Assad would have done this years ago. But look at that mess in there.
Oh my God.
Are you guys ready for some airplane wiring? You guys ready to wire that up? You don't have to. This plane comes with all of this stuff already wired up with iNav on there, and it has GPS. So the GPS is wired up. The only thing you have to do to this plane is add on your receiver. Put the props on there and set up a regular model. Same thing as like a quadcopter setup inside your RadioMaster, and have all the same type of controls. Aileron, rudder, all the same. Quadcopter setup is exactly the same. So I don't want you guys to get intimidated. I've never flown fixed wing before, but this is the V-tail. I have the parts behind me there for the V-tail. I don't have them on right now because FedEx or DHL, one of the two, did this to my tail. The tail now has a smashed curve to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I've got to use a little Recon action on fix that. But this one's, I think I'm going to try to put Crossfire, a flight controller. Was going to just do a simple like XM Plus or something on there. But it might only have like 3 pins for the input. It might only be able to do it. But for something with iNav, I better be able to add ELRS or
Yeah, I would think they would have something.
That's just gonna.
That wouldn't make no sense if they had a flight controller on there.
The point would be moot, right? Wouldn't the point be moot?
Yeah. You can't fly a fixed wing with X. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the end of the ball field and fail safe.
Yeah, exactly.
So. And so that one's coming up. Swordfish. We also have the RadioMaster Boxer that came out in January. Freaking amazing new radio with a 4-in-1 version and ELRS. You guys can go watch that review. I did a review on that. And thank God Wesley Barty just released a new firmware update that allows you to now have a target inside the ELRS configurator for the Boxer. So
for the Boxer.
Thank you, Wesley.
I was gonna say something about RadioMaster. I guess RadioMaster. I saw that RadioMaster dropped a little thing a day or two ago. That if anyone bought their newer ELRS modules, the Nano and the Micro, not the full size one, but the Nano and the Micro, do not use an XC30 battery on that transmitter module.
Really?
You will fry your radio. They're saying so. Just wanted to put that out there. They're saying that if you've bought that module, that they're in the middle, right after New Year's, their Chinese New Year's, they're gonna be
Yeah, I think I saw
making a new
something.
PCB and sending that out.
I saw something about that yesterday. That's
Yeah, it'll fry your radio, not just the module, but it'll fry your radio.
Oh wow. And this is
Because
this is one of those modules right here. This is the Ranger Micro.
Yep, exactly.
It'll
basically whatever your battery you're plugging into that, it'll send it directly down the 5-volt line on your radio and fry it. So don't do that.
Not good.
Not good.
Not do that. Repeat it one more time, Luis,
they say it'll work. So yeah, the micro and nano modules, the new Ranger nano and micro modules from RadioMaster, do not use the XT30 connector right there to power it. It will work just fine in your radio without it, but don't use that XT30 connector.
Do not plug a battery into it.
You will kill your radio.
And normally I'm the type of person that would do that because I always carry an extra battery out and I Velcro it to the back of my radio. If I'm going out flying for the day and I'm going to use some long-range receiver, I always do that with my Crossfire module. But since this is for a review, a lot of times I'm just plugging stuff in and testing it out without being out there all day in the field, so I don't use this. And thank God in this instance that I didn't do that. Because I might have made a video getting insanely mad at RadioMaster saying, "Oh, it's their fault. They fried my module."
Yeah, luckily, I mean they're gonna make good on it. They're gonna be sending out replacements. So
I'm trying not to make those type of videos. You always need to do your research before you get mad and fire off shots at a company, say it's their fault, and sometimes it ends up being your fault. I've had to learn that lesson the hard way, having a YouTube channel. So don't let your emotions get the best of you. Post a video. If you do make a mistake, just call yourself out and say, "Hey, I made a mistake." I did a couple weeks ago with my 7-inch tri-blade and bi-blade test we did. That turns out that tri-blade was smoother than bi-blade. So in my testing, my own testing proved my opinion wrong. Possibly wrong. Okay. All research. But also in January, we had the Flying Fish stuff that came out. Flying Fish is a brand new FPV company. At least you saw that frame come out from them. It's called the Volator.
I don't remember the name.
A VX5 frame. It's a 5-inch frame. It has a super cool little, like a battery mat that goes on the top with their logo on it. That frame looked pretty decent. I think it looks a little more durable as a freestyle quad than what the SpeedyBee frame looks like. Have that frame. We're gonna show all that stuff coming up on a full review of Flying Fish too. So new company on the horizon for this year. I think it's great that we have a new company out there. Seem to have lost some companies in the last 12 months. Am I right? What happened to Diatone? Where's Diatone at?
Yeah, where's Diatone? They're
Anybody
just
know?
doing like little RC cars now. Seems like.
Well, Furious FPV a couple of years ago stopped making. They used to make some really cool, innovative products for the community, and now they are called Fury Tech, and they make RC crawlers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tone Pole. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I'm probably not, but he's one of the developers, along with Tony as an owner of what used to be Furious FPV, now Fury Tech. And I noticed that Tone was starting to design micro controllers for RC cars and like desktop little tiny cars. And then eventually, now one of their main releases is something called a Cayman Pro. And the Cayman Pro is essentially like a 24 scale micro size crawler, very similar to like the SCX 24
Yeah.
from Axis. Get at Horizon Hobby. I think Horizon Hobby actually bought Axis crawler.
Axial.
I think, yeah, Axial.
Axial.
Axial. Yeah. I believe Horizon now owns Axial.
Huh.
But,
Yeah. So yeah, diatone is like falling off the face of the earth at this point.
I don't know what happened to diatone. Furious FPV dried up years before pandemic and all that, but we lost quite a few companies during the pandemic. I mean, what are some other companies you guys haven't heard from in a while? It seems to be like FRC and iFlight. You know, Axis came up right at the, I think around the beginning of 2019, right before the pandemic.
HGLRC is kind of like, I haven't heard anything about them lately.
Yeah, and I know that one of the guys, one of my contacts for HGLRC is actually working for another company. So I felt like HGLRC went off and became Recon FPV. I had a suspicion that was the same company because stuff looks very similar. But I like Recon because Recon, even given the name, they're mostly concerned with range flying, and I think that's super cool. They have some ultralight 5-inch range flyers. They got some micro ones, and they have some nano size long range flyers. You know, 2S Ion Pack. They just came out with a brand new one on their website. If you look on reconfpv.com, they have a new nano sized long quad for Lion. 2 Lion batteries power it. So that's a super fun thing. They were doing 1S Lion quads for long range, 20-minute flight times on those guys, and then they figured out, hey, we could probably fit 2 batteries in this. And this is a 3.5-inch prop version, 15-minute flight time. It's called the Recon 35. I hope they send that one to it. Nano long range.
I'm trying to remember who developed those Recons. What that guy's name was. I can't remember. I'll remember one day.
I've got a contact, but I can't remember his name. But let me try to get Luis's audio working in the news feed real quick. I'm just gonna hop over to our browser, and I'm gonna paste in your audio, Luis. All right, so there's his camera. I'm just gonna move that down. Okay. I don't know if we can hear Luis still. I see his audio.
There?
Yeah, there we go.
Hello. Yep.
All right, so
okay.
Super quick. Now this is the Recon 4, but what we were looking at before is that 3.5. So Recon 3.5, there it is. 2S Lion configuration. Let's click on that, see how much it costs. $29 for the frame kit. I'd hate to build that though. Oh wow, $159 for the analog version.
That's not bad.
$299 for HD. Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's a really good price for the analog.
And you know, that's a long range option under 250 grams.
Yeah, totally.
That was the coolest thing about this nano long range movement. Like, guys are concerned with remote ID and long range. You know, if you're beyond visual line of sight, it doesn't matter anyway. You're not supposed to do it. But for some reason, there exists that like genre of being under 250 for long range. Sub 250G. It's got dual battery. Yeah.
You know, now that you mention it, you're saying that you think that HGLRC, I mean, I hate to make those kind of assumptions, but
just an assumption.
But it does look very similar now that I really look at them.
Oh, look at that. There's a freaking HGLRC logo on the Recon 35. Ding, ding, ding,
Oh,
ding.
there is.
You get a prize, Justin. I knew it.
Where did you see that on the electronics or something?
Right on their, right on the screen there. Yeah, look at this. Look at it again.
Hold on. I'll look. I'm not looking at that screen. Okay, I'm looking at the screen now. Oh, look at that. Yeah, interesting.
Ding, ding, ding. So yeah, HDLRC still exists, but they're now known as Recon FPV. I actually kind of like the Recon brand. I like the Recon branding. I think that's pretty slick, and I do like their designs. I mean, this is a pretty freaking legit frame right here. It has a straighter arm across the front than some of the other ones out there. The nice Cinet rig.
Yeah, it's a nice looking quad.
They use a larger GPS on this one as well. Than iFlight's Chimera 7, so quicker. Basically, what it does is give you a quicker lock and triangulation. Like a bigger cone receiving your packets. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you look at this frame a little bit closer, a very amazing and awesome feature is that this one is one of the only versions that have the TBS diversity crossfire receiver on here. So you have two Immortal T's on this quad, man. You have one that's on the vertical up front right here, and then you have one in the back right here. So that's like probably the best setup for penetration and long range that you can get. So if you have a 7-inch, if you're doing 6-inch long range, I suggest getting the TBS crossfire receiver. Of course, the X in a fail-safe way, especially when you start dipping down into canyon or trees. Around Oregon, we have the super tall evergreens. Dip below the evergreens, man, you need to have a good signal coming back. Crossfire has always kept my cool. But the point of GPS is that if you do fail safe, and if you don't have rescue set up, you're going to drop to the ground. You're going to have to hike 2-3 miles into a mountain. So as Oregon long range folks, we never fly in the mountains, or we never fly any range or over water or anywhere else without having rescue bench tested first. There's 2 stages of GPS testing. You need to bench test it with the props off, make sure that it's going to work, and then you also need to field test it with the props on, flying it and going around. Or even down a long dirt road is a good place. So if you do fail safe down to the ground, it doesn't kick in, that you can just drive along the road and go. I suggest for GPS testing. There's also something that you guys need to know that we're going to talk about coming up for GPS setup that will affect the way that it goes into rescue mode. If you activate rescue mode on your quad, there is a throttle response that happens inside Betaflight that only momentarily cuts your throttle until failsafe kicks back in. Then it goes to set throttle. There's a setting inside Betaflight that you need to turn that off so that it doesn't momentarily kill your throttle. Because I've seen instances of people on YouTube going into failsafe and dropping to the ground. And when the quad loses that momentary throttle, when it goes into GPS rescue, the flight controller could think, oh no, messed up, and the quad actually will tumble to the ground. If you turn that off, basically what failsafe does is it will go to the last point, known point throttle. So when you lose receiver, instead of dropping to your less than throttle, at zero throttle basically, it goes to zero throttle. If you turn that on, I believe it's on automatic. Put it on automatic, it'll go to the last known throttle point, and you will level out, and you'll come back. Flying an acro, it'll do this. It'll come boom, then you'll jump back into receiver. Sometimes it momentarily blips, but that's not going to drop you to the ground. Leave reception back, you go straight back into acro and keep flying. You may see your camera at range or distance this a little bit. That means you're fail-safing. So we're going to talk about that setting inside Betaflight for GPS rescue coming up on the channel too. So you guys don't drop your GPS quads to the ground on your first range flight and fail safe.
Yeah, that's.
We'll put some.
Don't want to do that.
We'll put some information about that on the Drone Camp's website in an article so that you can do a proper GPS. That's super important. Bench test and field test. And so I'm just going to go back and see if I can find that information real quick. Let you know exactly what that term was called inside the Betaflight tab.
Which one? Which one?
The setting that they need to change to auto. Very important that so that the motors don't drop to zero on failsafe. Because in the stock setup for GPS rescue, there's a point when it goes to zero throttle before rescue mode.
I remember it, but I don't do enough long range to remember enough about the GPS setups.
So it's all about the minimum throttle.
I think they added something in 4.4 to make it easier, so that doesn't happen. Like it's a default. It's a default now.
The default minimum throttle.
It's like a default, so that it doesn't just drop like that when you're using the GPS.
Yeah. It's called a throttle channel fallback, and so there's stage 1 and stage 2 activation. Stage 1, failsafe activated, and that changes from drop to GPS rescue. But it momentarily stops guard time to 0.4 seconds by default, and that can destabilize the quad and result in it tumbling to the ground. So even though you had rescue mode on, and isn't this scaring the crap out of all you guys? So this is worth putting out there. So we're going to change that throttle fallback setting from auto to hold, so that the last known throttle value is held in the last commanded position, so that you avoid motor stalling. And for the default, I'm going to set to auto. And you change that to hold inside Betaflight. That's something to look out for. That's like one of those little tiny things that can like cause you to crash.
That could ruin your day. Yeah, it'll ruin your day.
You think everything is perfect, but if you didn't field test it, I've had that happen to me before. Like probably 3 years ago, I was doing a field test down a long field, and I got out there past that 300-foot point. There's a radius around the home point, and you also have to make sure that arm without home lock is checked, turned off, because you have to have a home lock for GPS to work. You don't have a home lock, you have no GPS rescue. But if you have that checked, take off without home point fix, then you're gonna fail safe to the ground. Rescue mode is not gonna work because it doesn't know where home is. Okay, so That's super important. For guys that know long range, I'm preaching to the choir. But to guys to guys out there that are just experiencing GPS for the first time, you maybe bought your first 6-inch with GPS. There's even 5-inch quads with GPS. I think Nazgul has an option to add GPS to it. But if you're flying any kind of, I mean, most 5-inch, 6-inch are flying medium range. Not even sure 7's true long. Me long range would be like, I don't fly that.
Yeah, yeah, you do long range. I don't do long range. But
some people, everybody has a different definition of what long range is. So if you fly tiny whoops, maybe long range to you is like a mile. Fly a 60-inch wing with UHF on it, long range might be 50 miles.
Yeah, that would be crazy long range.
If you're Russian, look up the Russian long range videos. Those guys are doing 50 kilometers, 80 kilometers. We don't do that. Plus, I don't want to walk further than I have to. I want to go further than I want to walk to get. Or my GoPro. I don't want to lose my GoPro.
Yeah, that's the walk of shame. That's like the hike of shame, not the walk of shame. You know.
Man, and it's dangerous to go down into those canyons, walking around. Like you could be seriously injured trying to get stupid RC airplane back. Like critically injured. So trying to retrieve planes.
All right, man. I think we should maybe start wrapping up here.
Yeah, so pretty much gone through everything today. We've done a pretty long live stream, guys. We're coming up on like the 3-hour mark, and I gotta say, Luis has some serious stream stamina, and we're gonna talk about.
I haven't even eaten yet today, man.
Yeah, we're gonna let him go. I need to buy him some lunch. If you guys want to check him out on Patreon, he's gonna have a Patreon on this channel. So he's also another resident tech support option. So he's in Discord. He's going to be on the live streams doing some co-hosting, maybe once a week or so if we can get him on here. But now that we have all the audio worked out, this is great. So getting those Blunty vibes, that's cool because we love Blunty and we love Bardwell, and we just want to be another resource for the community to give you guys information and hopefully learn something from these streams and our videos, like always.
Yep.
And what's new? You guys, if you're not the Drone Camps Patreon at this point, please do consider becoming my Patreon, because right now I'm really trying to ramp up. I wanna get to the $500 a month mark. I think that would be amazing, and you will make my day today if you just at least if you watch the videos and you're learning something from it, become a $2 Patreon. I just put a new tier on there. That'd be freaking awesome. So hit me up. Casey, I appreciate all you guys. Chris.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for being in the chat. TK, as always. Tommy, Defiant, Johnny DRC, all you guys. Also, join up in our Discord. I want to see a bunch of people in the Discord. I want to flood the Discord. Guys have been asking about it. So I'm going to drop that link one more time before we end this live stream so you guys have it, okay? So you got my Patreon and you got the Discord. And also for the quad shop, it's just dronecamps.com. And that's all of our stuff, guys. But we can all stay in contact and stay involved. But super happy that Luis was able to make this stream today, and he's adding.
Yeah, that's working.
We'll get
it. We'll keep it working.
A lot of value to these live streams, so I appreciate Luis, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, and appreciate you guys hanging out today. We had a good turnout for this stream, and we'll check out coming up on Friday. Luis may or may not be with us. We'll see. And we'll have another stream on Friday. So Friday around same time, same place, same bat channel.
Cool.
All right,
All right,
guys.
man.
Take care. We'll see you on